I'm laughing right now, but at the start of the trip, we were all crying. And 16 days before our return flight, Finnair decided to drop a bomb on us.
Not fully refundable.
Ships. Hello, I'm Prachi and welcome back to a new episode of Dear World Love Prachi. Today is going to be the final episode in the India to Finland Ultimate Travel series. And in this episode, there's a lot that I have planned for you. So stick till the end and you are going to find out some not so good things which happened on my Finland trip. So here's what we are going to do today. Number 1, I'm going to tell you why I chose Finland over all the other countries from where you see Aurora. Number 2, some essential boring information about SIM card and currency exchange. Number 3, the most amazing, everything that went wrong with the trip. And number 4, and something that you all have been looking forward to, my expenses for this trip. So stick around till the end of the video to find out the information that you need. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do so right now. I'm waiting. Also, do check out the earlier videos in this series if you are planning a trip to Finland or any of the Northern Lights countries. And also check out my Finland vlogs to see how my experience was. Let's start this video now. Our topmost reason for this trip was Northern Lights. These lights mostly show up in the Arctic Circle. So we begin with the process of elimination starting with US and Canada. Why not them? Too far, too expensive. And I don't want my parents spending so much time on a flight and the rest half of the trip recovering from that flight. That left us with Finland, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, and Russia. Yes, I seriously considered Russia. India and Russia have great ties. Plus, Russia would be less crowded due to fewer Western tourists. And of course, Moscow and St. Petersburg are stunning cities that are historically rich and dripping in Russian architecture and culture. But then red flags started popping up. Unless you're living under a rock, there's a conflict going on between Russia and Ukraine. So, not ideal travel vibes. Nope times 1. Visa and MasterCard are banned over there, which means carrying loads of cash. Nope times 2. No Booking.com, no Agoda, no Airbnb. You basically have to find hotels by zooming onto a map and then figuring out the website, contacting them via WhatsApp. We didn't want to get into all that. Nope times 3. Since my parents were coming along, we wanted some convenience and surety, not adventure and chaos. So Russia is out for now. Iceland is gorgeous. I'd rather visit it for frozen waterfalls, volcanoes, hot springs and geysers than Northern Lights. Also, it's a bit far away from the Arctic Circle than the other countries in the list. So I thought let's save Iceland for another trip, when I want to literally chill in a hot spring with a snow-capped mountain view. Sweden also featured on the list, but for some reason it was always shadowed by Norway and Finland like a middle child. Literally. So it came down to the final 2, Norway versus Finland. Norway is incredible. If you look at the map, it has a mountainous terrain and a long stretch of coastline. Fjords, mountains, and unique experiences like watching Northern Lights from a cruise, crab hunting, whale watching. It would have been one adventurous trip. Norway was a strong contender, but we didn't use it for the following reasons. Number 1, back then we wanted train journey. Norway does have rail lines, but it doesn't have as extensive a rail line as Finland does from north to south, due to its geography. Number 2, I suffer from motion sickness and it wouldn't go well in car journeys and cruises. Number 3, Norway has a higher chance of cloudy skies, and that means more time spent in car rides trying to chase aurora. Again, motion sickness. So no. So, Finland it was. Flat, peaceful Lapland, higher chances of clear skies, and train journey between Helsinki and Rovaniemi. And most importantly, easy travel with parents. Simple, reliable, and magical. Just like the auroras that we went to see. Finland uses the euro. At the time of our trip, 1 euro was approximately around 90 rupees. Now here's the best part. We didn't use cash at all during the trip. We used credit cards everywhere, from big supermarkets to small souvenir shops. We did not come across any shop or any supermarket which was cash only. We mostly use zero Forex or low Forex cards. Zero Forex cards charge only the MasterCard or Visa exchange rate. Low Forex cards charge a percentage of Forex fees. It depends on what kind of card you have. It can be anywhere between 1.5 to 3%. But just to be safe, we carried 150 euros per person for the duration of our trip. We got Euro cash by bookmyforex.com. The process was super easy. We filled out a few travel details, uploaded our passport info, and just like that, money was delivered to our house the very next day. Very convenient. Now here's what didn't work out for us. We tried the Forex card also. These are prepaid cards that you can load up with euros. But it was a mess. It required a full in-person KYC by a delivery agent. It could only be linked to one bank account. Payments had to go through that account only. And then came certain questions which were not clear. Can we use this card in other Schengen countries? Can we load this card more than once? Will there be extra charges if we load it multiple times? So there were many what ifs, and hence we didn't go for the Forex card. In the end, we dropped it. It was too messy. Credit cards were easy, mess-free and stress-free. For our Finland trip, we used eSIMs. This was the most hassle-free and cost-effective method. Prices for eSIM was comparable to Finnish local SIM cards. We used Jetpack eSIM. I've put the link in description below. A 7 USD pack gave us 5 GB of data, which was sufficient for the duration of our trip. This pack was valid in around 30 countries in Europe. We activated the SIM in India itself, and then it immediately started working once we landed in Munich, and then again once we finally landed in Finland. People in Finland speak Finnish, Swedish and English. The indigenous Sami tribe speak Sami. However, all Finns that I interacted with spoke fluent English. I interacted with them mostly during my trips to supermarket when I couldn't understand what was written or where was a product that I needed. And they went out of their way to help solve my problem. In Finnish supermarkets, everything was written in Finnish, not English. So we used Google Lens feature to translate the product info. Here's everything that went wrong in my trip. When we booked the trip, it was supposed to be 7 of us, my partner and me, my parents and my sister, and my partner's parents. However, in June 2024, my mother-in-law got diagnosed with a viral disease, which made even walking impossible for her. With medicines and rest, we hoped that she would get better, but by October, she still was finding walking painful, so they opted out of the trip. Thankfully, a small win here. We booked our accommodation via booking.com and it was fully refundable. Even Aurora Service Tours were kind enough to adjust their payment in our activities. So, no money lost there. But where was money lost? In visa fees, which is absolutely not refundable, and in transport bookings. A majority of the chunk of money gone was in the flight bookings, which was partially or not at all refundable. This was a painful financial and emotional blow to us. So we booked our flights from 29th November to 10th December, and we booked accommodation, sightseeing and internal travel also. We submitted all this information for visa processing. We got a visa which was valid from 29th of November to 24th of December. So far so good. But now the drama starts. 6 days before the start of our trip and 16 days before our return flight, Finnair decided to drop a bomb on us. They sent us an email saying that the return flight from Helsinki to Delhi was cancelled due to union strikes. And they offered us an alternative of flying back on 7th December. We would have just arrived in Rovaniemi on 7th December and our trip would have been cut short by 2 days. There were no flights offered to us apart from that 7th December one. So we chose to get a refund and booked another flight from Helsinki to Mumbai via Air India, which departed on 10th December. You would have thought that we got a full refund, right? No, we didn't. The refund which was processed by Finnair was in euro and did not add up to what we paid in INR. So, we lost 4,500 rupees per person due to differences in conversion. We also lost about 400 rupees per person for our flights between Delhi and Mumbai. So, second time, our trip was back. On 29th of November, we reached Mumbai T2 airport all excited. At the check-in counter, the lady scans our passport, our documents, our insurance, everything. And then she says words that I'll never forget. Sorry, you are overstaying your visa duration. What? I'm not kidding when I say that it took all of us some time to process this information. We knew our visa was valid till 24th of December. So what was she talking about? Turns out we missed out a very important piece of information. Schengen visa also mentioned something called duration of stay, which for us was 11 days. So even though we got a whole month's validity of visa, we could only stay for 11 days. And since we changed our return flight by 1 day, we were overstaying our visa by 1 day. We didn't argue with the lady, in fact we thanked her. Because imagine being caught at European immigration. That would have been horrendous. We would have been turned back. At Munich airport, they actually checked our return flight, and thankfully, we had a new return flight. So we passed. We could get in the Schengen area. You need to understand the gravity of the situation. We were at the check-in counters about 3 hours before our international flight, and we were told that we can't go ahead unless we change our return flights. We were told that we can't proceed because we were overstaying through no fault of our own. Remember, the union strikes of Finnair caused all of this drama. It was a very painful moment. At that point, we were led away from the queue and we found some spot and we were holding back tears. It felt like a slap in the face because we were Indian passport holders. And what is horrible is that they gave us a visa for the exact number of days that we booked. So if you count 29th of November, 30th of November, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th. 9th was when we booked our return flight. They gave us the visa for the exact number of days that we showed the flight for. They did not take into consideration any emergencies or any problems caused by Finnish airlines. At the counter, we also learned that this was happening quite frequently due to Finnish union strike. So that's why they were checking even more than usual. So we were not the only family which suffered. So somehow we collected our wits, found a place to sit with all of our baggage, and then started another search for flights. So in the past 2 weeks, we have changed our flights 2 times. This was the 3rd time that we were booking a return flight. European airline prices for 9th of December were through the roof. So expensive. They were ridiculously expensive. So they were out. So one person was looking at flight, another person was looking at layover countries which did not require a transit visa for Indian passport holders. The winner, a code-share flight between Turkish Airlines and Indigo Airlines, which flew from Helsinki to Istanbul to Mumbai. Cheapest option by far. This was a flight which I kept seeing from June of 2023 when I started my research. But there was a reason that I wasn't booking this flight. The good thing, Indian passport holders at that point did not require a transit visa in Istanbul. I'm not sure what the scene is now. I suggest that you do check it. We were so anxious that I screenshotted the information of Istanbul transit visa for safekeeping. The bad news, Indigo flights at that time were suffering through an unlucky patch. There were reports of hundreds of people being stranded at Istanbul airport or Mumbai or Delhi airport. But did we have another choice? No. We just needed to get off that country. We had to get out of Schengen area on 9th of December. The situation was so dire that we also looked at ships leaving Schengen area. Ships. Oh, and our Air India ticket, not fully refundable. We lost 18,000 rupees per person on it. So total loss was about 23,000 per person. And all of this was because a sudden airline strike, 1 day visa technicality, and the joy of having an Indian passport. By the way, do you want to know what our passport strength is? According to passportindex.org, Indian passport ranks. Our immediate neighbors, except of China, are worse off than us. But other Asian countries like Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, and of course Singapore are much ahead than us. Just some trivia. So, what do we learn? And please take the learnings because we have suffered a lot and I don't want you to suffer. Save every medical document. Start saving every doctor visit documents and prescription and ensure that they are dated. Say it with me. Refundable tickets are our friends. They are not our enemies, especially for Western countries where everything is so expensive. And if something goes bad, we lose not just hundreds and thousands, we lose tens of thousands of rupees. Ensure that most, if not all, of your bookings are already paid for, so that during the trip, if there is any emergency, you have an available credit limit to use. Read your travel insurance policy thoroughly. It should cover passport lost or stolen, baggage lost, stolen or delayed, and trip cancellations. Back in 2022, Gaurav and I traveled to the UK and we were caught up in the infamous Heathrow baggage system malfunction. I'm sure you must have seen photos of hundreds of bags just lying stranded at Heathrow. 2 of those bags were ours. One of the bags, which had almost all of our clothes, was so delayed that we got it one day before our trip back to India. So we ended up buying clothes from department stores like Primark, which is cheaper than others, and charity shops. Saved all the bills and filed a claim for about £125 and got a reimbursement of £95. The highest which we could have gotten was £100, so 95 was very good. On a side note, after all that we went through, fortunately, our trip was smooth. We saw auroras, we did husky sledding, we did snowshoeing, we got an amazing cabin in Utsjoki. We had a wonderful time in Finland once we landed. But everything which happened before the trip and everything which happened after the trip, like getting in touch with customer support, claiming refunds, stuff like that, that was quite hectic. And now comes the part which you have been waiting for since the start of this series. Are you ready? Here it goes. My Finland trip of 11 days, starting from Mumbai and ending in Mumbai, costed 2.9 lakh Indian rupees per person. This included visa fees, flights, internal travels, food, accommodation, activities, and also expenses in Mumbai such as cab to and from Mumbai airport. The price of 2.9 lakh does not include the losses due to all the changes and cancellations. If I add that, it comes to around 3,10,000 per person. My 11-day trip to Finland was cheaper than any other tour group package by a long shot. I compared with popular Indian holiday companies like MMT, Thomas Cook, SOTC, Veena World and Kesari. I've added all my expenses in the Finland 2025 Excel sheet. The link will be in the description again. And that, my friends, is the end of the India to Finland Ultimate Travel Guide. It has been a wild ride of planning, booking, rebooking, panicking, and chasing northern lights. I put in a lot of effort in this video, so I hope that you found it useful and entertaining. If you really like my videos, please like and please share this playlist with your friends and family, especially those who are planning a trip to Finland or any of the Nordic countries. If you made it till here, thank you so much. You are the best. I will see you in the next series. Bye. Hey, AC का बंद झाला माझा? If you go through the expense sheet, you will also find an entry called McDonald's at Mumbai Airport, which was our stress eating after all that we went through. I also added it has a mountainous terrain and a long stretch of coastline.
Not times one. Not times two. Not times two. Not times two.
We mostly use zero Forex or low Forex cards. Zero Forex charge you. Zero Forex cards charge you. Zero Forex. Zero Forex cards charge you. Zero Forex charges only. Zero Forex cards charge only the Visa or MasterCard rate.